Welcome. We're at the end of May, which means in the Enlightenment event, we're at the end of our physical Enlightenment month, where we've been exploring all things embodiment with Emily Phillips and Anna Sagar, which has been absolutely wonderful. Getting so in connection with and in close relationship with the body, bringing movement to it, bringing sound to it, bringing breath to it, bringing just closeness and love to it in all those different forms. And so it's been really, really incredible for the members of the group to shift that relationship with the body into being one that's not just about the body being this thing that's kind of a bit annoying and kind of hangs around. It's like that, come on, body, do what you're supposed to do. And the minute it doesn't, we're like, oh God, body, can't believe it. So it's really, really been huge in terms of shifting that relationship with the body to see how much it is asking for our love and how much it thrives when that's what it receives. So it's been a phenomenal month. And now, given that month is coming to an end, albeit, in fact, today, the 29th, when I'm recording this, we have our closing call with Emily and Anna today, and then we have a closing integrating transmission with me on Monday, the 3rd. But then on Wednesday, the 5th, we are tipping into our new month of spiritual enlightenment. So doors are now open from tomorrow, the 30th of May, till the morning of Wednesday, the 5th. That is your window of opportunity to come and join us for Spiritual Enlightenment Month. So I'm here to talk a little bit about that and why you'd want to join, who it's for, what you're going to get from being part of this month with me and Sarah and Nicola, who I'll also tell you a bit more about. So spiritual enlightenment, let's just talk a little bit about what that even is. So because it's an enlightenment event, it is all about enlightenment, enlightening the patterns, enlightening the conditioned patterns of thinking, feeling, behaving that we have collected through our life, and which ultimately, when we stay in those same patterns and get identified with them and get attached to them, things get really heavy, really weighty, really sticky and tricky and yucky, which is why enlightenment is so relieving, so enlightening. We feel lighter, we feel more free, we feel more fluid, because we are essentially disentangling ourselves from all these thoughts, feelings, and ways of behaving that we've taken to be how we have to be. And everything we've been doing in this journey ever since February has been to recognize these patterns and then to use different methodologies, modalities, approaches to do that disentangling process, to detach, to lighten ourselves of the stuff that we have got so entangled and entrenched with. So Spiritual Enlightenment Month is no different. We are still enlightening the system, but we're doing it through the recognition of our spiritual nature. So we could not have an enlightening journey without recognizing the truth of who we are. Because if we spend our lives believing we are just this person, we're going to have a really, really hard gig to live through. It's going to just be less fulfilling. It's going to be less enjoyable. It's going to be more drama and more challenge and more issues than if we can really see the truth of who we are, that we're not most fundamentally a person, that our most fundamental aspect is spirit, is awareness, is consciousness, is the space of being, is presence, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter what you call it, but the recognition that that is our nature, that spirit is our nature, is enlightening in and of itself. We feel lighter when we recognize the truth of who we are. And that's why people who have recognized that nature, which in truth, and particularly Sarah and I in our book call awakening rather than enlightenment, but it's the same thing. Whether we call it spiritual enlightenment or awakening, it's the same thing. It's that recognition of that nature. And the reason it helps is because that nature is everything you're seeking in the world. When you're seeking happiness, when you're seeking contentment, when you're seeking security, when you're seeking peace, when you're seeking quiet, stillness, when you're seeking aliveness, it's all fundamentally our nature coming into form and being all of those things. And to truly know that, to truly consciously know that and be able to embody that is the shift that leads to, excuse me, is the shift that leads to that being your baseline from which, as which you move through life, rather than the baseline being identification with being a person, which is always going to feel a lot heavier than identification with being spacious presence of awareness. So the more we recognize the truth of our nature, the lighter we feel, because we are identified with the truth of who we are, which is lightness. And the more we are identified with the truth of who we are, the more easily we can enlighten from these patterns of thoughts, feelings, and behavior that we talked about just a moment ago. The more we actually move through the world feeling the lightness of our true nature, the truth of who we are. So that's what this month is all about that shift of identification, about that shift and that conscious recognition into seeing who we really are at our essence, at our most foundational, at our most fundamental. Now, many people actually move through life already knowing this, just as a background knowing. But to have it as a conscious knowing, to have it as an understood knowing, makes the world of difference. Because you get it then. You truly get it at all levels. At the conscious mind, at a feelings level, at a body level, you just get it. And that's really what we want. When we get it, we know, and there's like a, settled, an okayness, a groundedness, where seeking can stop. Seeking for that thing, that missing piece that we feel is out there somewhere, until we realize, oh no, it was me. I was looking for myself all along. You might have heard that phrase from all sorts of different spiritual guides and teachers. You are the one you're looking for. Everything you seek is within. All those kinds of phrases. And it's really true. But we have to experience it. You can't take somebody else's word for this. They are great and useful at pointing you to where to look, but it has to be experiential. And so that's what this month is all about. So we've got 2 experts coming to join us this month who are representing 2 broad pathways for awakening or spiritual enlightenment. We've got Sarah Priestley, my co-author for the Complete Book of Awakening and the journal friend it has there. Sarah's going to be talking about the direct path, and Nicola Lipscomb is going to be joining us to talk about the progressive path. So broadly, the direct path is where we look directly to see that our true nature is right here already. That right here, right now, for me, for you, for every single person watching this video, we are already our essential nature. There is nothing to get, there is nothing to find, there is nothing to do. That phrase is often used in this exploration. You are already it. And the direct path is the way to see the truth of that, the way to experientially recognize the truth of that. Because that's how it becomes truly known and a true solid baseline from which to live all the variety of the human experience. So that's the direct path that Sarah's going to be bringing and talking about, and for which she's going to be bringing some brilliant practical experiential experiments so that you get to see it there and then in the session. You don't have to go away, you don't have to go and practice, it will be right there and then you get to recognize the truth of who you are. And every time we recognize that, it's another solidifying of the truth of our real identity. It's another drop of clarity, of groundedness, of, oh, yeah, that. And so then Nicola, when she comes to talk about the progressive path is the one where rather than using inquiries to directly look and see our essential nature, the progressive path uses usually more of a meditative approach, because as we meditate and our system settles down, it means that all the noise of our world settles down. The thoughts start to slow down. We can get present with sensations in the body. We can just get present with all of our experience. And that presence is the truth of who you are. And the more you are in that meditative practice, the more you come to see, oh, this presence is permanent. This presence is here all the time, present and aware of whatever it is I'm experiencing, the thoughts, the feelings, the sensations. Sometimes even during a meditative practice, you can have that really expansive feeling, like the boundaries of the body have fallen away. In truth, the boundaries of the body are not a limitation to you, but it feels as though the boundaries of the body have fallen away. You feel that expansiveness, and that is the experience of our spiritual nature. That is the experience of the truth of who you are. So meditation can, bit by bit, cultivate this knowing of that most essential to you. You increasingly feel the truth of who you are as your system settles and settles and settles through various different meditative practices, or one, if there's one in particular you like. And something Nicola's really brilliant at is really bringing this from the heart. She writes some incredibly credible poetry that really connects into that space. And she creates that space of the truth of who we are. So that like if you were singing a note, and we'll have more of this actually in July's month as well, but if you say that Nicola's singing a particular note and bringing that frequency or that energy to the room, it's like everyone then, that in them starts to recognize that frequency too. And so everybody can start to feel that truth of our nature, that expansiveness, that spaciousness. So it's going to be amazing. And not only that, we have those 2 expert workshops, practical workshops, topped and tailed with calls with me, an opening call, which is just me, setting the scene, sharing more context, really laying the foundations for what we're going to be doing during the month. So a call with me, a workshop with Sarah, a workshop with Nicola, and then we close with all 3 of us on an open agenda Q&A call where you get to ask anything and everything you want from what you've experienced during the month, what you've noticed, what's come up, what doesn't make sense in what's been shared, all of that stuff. And then to completely close off the month, we also have a transmission, which this coming month will be with, I think it's Nikki. I should have checked that. Where's my list? Yes, this month it is with Nicola Drew. She's going to be doing the closing transmission for June, which is an opportunity to integrate everything you've heard and received and experienced during the month. So it's like oiling the wheels of the process to help you really bring into you what you've received and potentially to clear out what isn't any longer needed for you so that you can be enlightened of that. So this full beautiful journey is available for you to come and join from tomorrow, the 30th of May, until the morning of the 5th of June. We highly recommend it for you if you are brand new to awakening / spiritual enlightenment, and you want to get a feel for the lay of the land. You want to get a kind of, give me an overview of what this whole thing is like. You may also want to come in if you're just part of an awakening journey, a spiritually enlightening journey, recognizing your spiritual nature, and you want to come and just be part of that kind of presence. Like if you're already on the journey, you know that every opportunity you get to live and experience the truth of your nature, it's like every time that's available, it is another pearl on the string, as Sarah and I say in our book. It's another opportunity for that recognition to land and for that deeper knowing to really register in your system. So you may well be in that second category where you're on the journey and you're like, oh my God, yeah, any chance to come and be part of some practical experiential sessions that are going to remind me more deeply of my nature. Yeah, I'm in for that. The third kind of person who this will be great for is if you've had an awakening, could have been spontaneous, could have been on purpose. Those words used lightly, because in some ways it's all just happening anyway. But from the outside, it looks like some awakenings are spontaneous and unexpected and come from nowhere. Others make it looks like we've gone towards this on purpose and we're actually wanting this. Either way, post an initial awakening, there can be some bumpy times. There can be some challenge of oscillation, some erratic experiences, some discombobulating experiences, some disorientating experiences. So if you're in that group of people, then this is also an amazing opportunity for you, because it will provide you with another reminder of that grounded truth of who you are. And the more that keeps being remembered, the more you become okay with whatever's happening at the surface level of being a human. And then the more okay you are with that surface level of being a human, the less that human stuff feels erratic, the more that smooths and calms and settles. So yeah, so super valuable for you too. So 3 potential groups of people this is great for: brand new people who want to come and get an overview, people who are already in the exploration who just know that every chance for an embodied practical experience is a great opportunity, and people for whom are having a bumpy post-initial awakening experience, who could do with some logical, grounded reminders of what is actually going on and why you are absolutely okay, fundamentally okay with everything you're experiencing right now. So that's what's coming. That's what's happening in June, beginning on the 5th with our first opening call. We've got 3 price points for you. So check out the website. You've got £87, £117 or £333. You choose the payment level that feels good and right for you. That's really the only reason we've got 3 payment levels, is so that you can access it at whichever level of payment is right for you and your budget right now. We didn't want money to be a barrier to entry. So take your pick of the level that feels good for you when doors open tomorrow. And yeah, we look forward to welcoming you in. Of course, also, if you've got any questions, drop comments below, click reply if you're watching this in an email, and we would love to help answer anything that you've got questions on that you want to clarify before you jump in and join us. So thank you for watching. Great to see you here. Really appreciate it. And I really, even more so, look forward to welcoming you in to our Spiritual Enlightenment Month. Lots of love and take care.